Good morning. Today we are going to discuss about this topic of the dural venous sinuses. Myself, Dr. Shoma Shah. So, before we enter into the details of the dural venous sinuses, we must have a detailed idea about the meninges that are covering the main structures which are present inside our cranium. So these are the there are the three protective membranes of the meninges which surround our brain, our cerebellum, and also the spinal cord. And as you know, you see that the meninges are divided into three layers: the dura mater, the arachnoid mater, and the pia mater. Dura, as the name suggests, it is the toughest of all the layers of meninges. Then comes the arachnoid mater, which is the comparatively delicate layer and vascular in nature. And there is the pia mater, which is a very thin layer but it is firmly attached. Here in this diagram, we can find. So this is showing the vault of the skull, a section. There is the outer table and this is the inner table, and in between there is the diplo or the spongy layers of the bone. And we can see that this is an example of the venous sinus which we can see here, and you can find that there are blood vessels and projections from arachnoid mater inside the venous sinuses that are known as the arachnoid granulations. So it is a cross section showing about the superior sagittal sinus. And here the meningeal layer, that is actually the meninges layer, arachnoid granulations, it is coming from this arachnoid matter, and further outside that inside that we are finding that this is the pia mater. So we are finding three layers: dura, then the arachnoid, and then the pia. And you can find that the dura mater, the two layers are separated, and in between the two layers of dura mater is the collection of the venous blood formed. So that is how the dural venous sinuses are rather formed. Now come to the characteristics of the cranial dura mater. It consists of an outer endosteal layer and an inner meningeal layer. The two layers of the dura mater are fused to each other everywhere except some places where it is projecting as some dural folds. So what are these folds? These are falx cerebri, falx cerebelli, tentorium cerebelli, and the diaphragma cerebri. Most of the dural venous sinuses are lodged along the lines of the separation of these two layers. So this is how the dural venous sinuses are being formed, by the separation between the outer layer or the endosteal layer and the inner layer or the meningeal layer of the dura mater. Now you see in this diagram we can find all the dural reflections and venous sinuses in a schematic way. So this is a fold of the dura mater which is known as the falx cerebri. It is falx shaped. The name is suggesting that it is shaped like a falx, or that just like in Bengali what we say as the kaste. So this falx cerebri, it is forming a midline partition between the cerebral hemispheres, and you can find that it is lined on either side by some venous sinuses. So above we have this one, the superior sagittal sinus, and this one is the inferior sagittal sinus. And not only that, this falx cerebri, if you find here that when it is going to get attached in this region, there is again a tent like extension of dura mater which is extending, that we have already told you while we were teaching the sphenoid, that this is known as the tentorium cerebelli. So this is here the anterior clinoid process, and these are the posterior clinoid processes from the regions of the diaphragm ocelli, and from here is extending the tentorium cerebelli. And this is the position in which in the occipital bone we get, it is the straight sinus. And further here on the either side of the sella turcica there are the two cavernous sinuses. And cavernous sinuses, not only that, you will find that there will be also the presence of this phennoparietal air sinuses, and these are the superior parietal sinus, this is the superior petrosal sinus, and this is the sigmoid sinus that you can see when you see the inside of the base of the skull. Coming to the falx cerebri. Now in the falx cerebri we find it is actually a sickle shaped fold of the dura mater which is in the midline between two cerebral hemispheres, the right and the left cerebral hemisphere, and its narrow end is in front attached to the internal frontal crest and the crista galli. Its broad posterior part is actually blending in the midline with the upper surface of the tentorium cerebelli. So here is actually what we can find, that this is the falx cerebri. This is entirely the falx cerebri, and it is, we are seeing a sagittal section of the head neck, and you can find that this is the inferior sagittal sinus, this is the superior sagittal sinus. Here the layer of this tentorium cerebelli slightly it has been cut open to show the presence of the sigmoid sinus, the superior petrosal sinus, the straight sinus, and also the great cerebral vein of the Galen. And in the cavernous sinus area we can also find that there is the intercavernous sinuses. Coming to falx cerebelli, in the falx cerebelli region what we can find, in the falx cerebelli it is actually a small fold. It lies below the level of the falx cerebri, below the level of attachment of the tentorium cerebelli. This is the falx cerebelli, and it is also small sickle shaped fold of dura mater which is separating our two cerebellum hemispheres, two hemispheres of the cerebellum, and it is attached actually to the internal occipital crest. It projects forward between the two cerebral hemispheres, cerebellar hemisphere rather, and its posterior margin is continuous with the occipital sinus. This is the region for the foramen magnum. So we come to the base of the skull. Now in the base of the skull that I want to highlight you here, that actually tentorium cerebelli is nothing but a tent-like projection of the dura mater which is crescent shaped and fold, and it is actually roofing over the posterior cranial fossa. So where is the anterior and the middle cranial fossa and the posterior cranial fossa that we have seen here? This is the anterior cranial fossa region, and actually here lies the two frontal lobes of the cerebrum. Then this is the layer of the middle cranial fossa, and here it is the tentorium cerebelli region, and below tentorium cerebelli is actually the two lobes of the cerebellum lies. So tentorium cerebelli is actually, it is a sheet or crescent shaped sheet of dura mater, and it is making a roof over the posterior cranial fossa. It also covers these upper superior surfaces of the two cerebellum, and it supports the occipital lobes of the cerebellar hemispheres. Coming to diaphragm ocelli. Diaphragm ocelli also called as the sellar diaphragm. So this is actually the diaphragm ocelli. It is a circular fold of the dura mater which forms the roof for the sella turcica of the sphenoid bone. A small opening in the center of this diaphragm ocelli is actually allowing the passage of the stalk of pituitary gland, and diaphragm ocelli, if you find it, you find anteriorly it gets attached to the region of the tuberculum celli, posteriorly to the dorsum celli region of the sphenoid bone, and laterally it continues with the dura mater of the middle cranial fossa. It also encloses the anterior and the posterior. It also encloses the anterior and the posterior intercavernous sinus. So this entire area, this is the region for the coverage of the diaphragm ocelli, and here is actually lying dorsum celli. Dorsum celli later goes on to be continuous with the clevus, and sella turcica is situated just in front of diaphragm ocelli because it is actually a saddle-like structure in which there is anteriorly tuberculum celli, then there is the hypophyseal fossa lodging the pituitary gland, and posteriorly there will be the diaphragm ocelli. Now we come to the dural venous sinuses which are situated between the layers of the dura mater, and they are all lined by the endothelium. Walls of the dural venous sinuses are actually very thick, but they are not containing any muscular tissue. They do not have any valves. What are the functions of the dural venous sinus? Their function is to receive blood from the brain through the cerebral veins, and also the cerebrospinal fluid from the subarachnoid space through the arachnoid villi. So this dural venous sinuses which are found inside the